in June, it was 65 years since I signed my apprenticeship papers as a plasterer. Plastering has changed terribly over the years with the advent of drywall and what have you. But I kept, the last 10 years or so, I've worked just for small contractors, working a few hours a day. Last December, I was working on a job in St. Albert. It's a water damage, and so the ceilings were all damaged. It had to be replaced. And so when you're texturing ceilings, you have to mask everything off. So everything was masked off, and the ceiling was finished. I got up on a bench in the hallway to take the poly off the chandelier. I was working like this up there, and looked down and lost my balance. And I grabbed the banister. It scared the dickens out of me. I thought, man, if I was in the middle of a room. So I decided then and there that I was going to stop. I figured, well, 65 years is not bad to do the one job, so I decided to stop. We cleaned the job up, loaded the truck, and as Neil was my guy I was working for, he was getting into the truck, and he yells back. He said, I was getting into my car. He said, Bob, follow me. I want to show you a basement. We're starting next week. I said, how am I going to tell him that I can't do it anymore? Anyway, we went to the job and down the basement, 9-foot ceilings. So the customer's there, so I didn't say anything, but we come outside and I said to Neil, that's it for me, I'm finished. No, don't worry. He said, you just do the bottoms, I'll do the tops, don't worry. He wouldn't take no for an answer. I was still shaking from my scare. And I'd made up my mind I was going to stop, but I didn't know how to tell him. On home, and I was telling Marie that my little episode, and she said, why don't you stop? But she understood it was not easy for me. So that night, I went to bed, and as I've done all my life, when I'm up against something I can't get the answer for, I said a prayer to God. I said, show me how to tell Neil that I don't hurt anybody. He already priced the job and expect me to do it. 15 hours later, step on a piece of ice and I fractured my left shoulder. I was telling my sister Marion this story. She said, my heavens, Bob, how long did you pray? Yeah, I'm sure glad you didn't make a novena. And I thought I would never, as I said before, I'd never play the guitar again. It was just my left. But I graduated to, after a couple of weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks, something like this, I could play solitaire. I could hold the cards. And so eventually one day I was playing and I thought, life has got to have a meaning. There's no meaning in this. So I went up and I got my guitar, brought it down, tuned it up. With my arm down here and my elbow, I could kind of reach a few chords or try. And I kept at it and at it and at it until I could get at least 3 chords in. Anyway, I wrote this song about my experience on the little, I call it, that little patch of ice. I came home from a singing gig on a Thursday afternoon. I beat the rush hour traffic. I'd be home pretty soon. The winter sun was shining bright, the weather was so nice, but waiting there to do me in was a little patch of ice. I took a step, I saw stars, I hit the ground so hard. I knew I was in trouble as I lay there in the yard. When the doctor saw that x-ray, says he, I'll be precise, you fractured your left shoulder on that little patch of ice. Go home and take a Tylenol, let that shoulder heal. Come back and see me in a month, we'll see how you feel. Sleeping in that chair for weeks, I think I've paid the price for trying to do the two-step on that little patch of ice. But now I'm on my feet again, they let me drive the car. I even threw that sling away and I'm playing my guitar. Now if you'll allow me, I'll give you some advice. Just go and spread some gravel on that little patch of ice, on that little patch of ice, on that little patch of ice. Thank you, thank you.